It's time for ROTD Weekend. What if I told you that you would save money by buying the more expensive orange juice? And here I mean the more expensive price tag and the more expensive price per ounce. Yes, it is true. So today's episode is about math, orange juice math. I will say it applies to a whole bunch of different things that you buy as well. And this is an amazing way to save money on your groceries. I'm just drilling down on orange juice because it's something we're all familiar with. I will say that I am using the prices from Instacart for Publix here in Florida. And I know that's a little bit pricier than some places, but I have done this comparison for Aldi and for another couple of grocery stores, and it works out the same, just the numbers are different. Okay, so imagine you are making a recipe that calls for orange juice. You need a cup of it, and you put orange juice on your grocery list. When it is time to buy it, you see that the 52-ounce jug is $4.41. It's actually on sale on the Publix Instacart today, but that doesn't matter. $4.41, which comes to 8 cents per ounce. Okay, you also might notice that the juice boxes, the orange juice boxes, and I'm talking about 100% juice for both of these, no juice blends or anything like that. The juice boxes are 6 boxes that are 8 ounces each. So that's 48 ounces for $7.75. That is 16 cents per ounce. So the jug has a lower price tag, $4.41, compared to the boxes at $7.75. It is $3.34 cheaper to get the jug. And also the jug is cheaper per ounce. It was 8 cents per ounce versus 16 cents per ounce. But I am telling you, you should get the more expensive juice boxes. Here's why. Now, I don't know about you, but in my house, we do not drink a lot of orange juice or any juice. I don't drink any at all. My kids will have some sometimes, but they go in spurts and they spend half their time with dad. So if I open a jug of orange juice on, say, a Wednesday and they have a little bit and then they go to their dad's on Friday and don't come back till the next Friday, by then the juice is past the use within 7 to 10 days region and I'm pouring the rest down the sink. If I only use half of that jug of juice, that is, if I only use 26 ounces instead of 52, then it turns out that I'm actually spending 16 cents per ounce, the same amount as those juice boxes. You have to remember when doing this math that we're not really about how many ounces you acquire, it's how many ounces you use. If you buy a whole bunch of stuff that you don't use, that you pour down the drain, that is the money going down the drain, okay? So now we have spent $4.41 for 26 ounces of juice, which is 16 cents per ounce, the same amount as the juice boxes. But there is more to this than that. What I've shown you so far is that it's about the same price. Why change anything? Other than that you're wasting, sure. But why change anything? Well, let's say you love this recipe that calls for orange juice and you start putting it on your grocery list every 2 weeks or so. Or let's just say you use orange juice in a marinator recipe every 2 weeks or so, right? Twice a month. So then if every 2 weeks when you have orange juice on your grocery list, you buy that jug for $4.41, in 12 weeks, you will have spent $26.46 on orange juice. If, on the other hand, you buy the pack of 6 juice boxes that are 8 ounces each, and you use one every second week or so when you have something that calls for orange juice, you will have spent $7.71 on orange juice for a savings of $18.75 in 3 months just on orange juice. You are also not wasting anything and you don't have that jug in your fridge that you're wondering, is it time to throw that out or is it still good? Opening it, smelling it, it's taking up space in there. You have exactly what you need. You use what you need. You have spent more initially. The original price point at $7.75 was more than the $4.41. Absolutely. And the price per ounce was more at the beginning. Absolutely. But the packaging, the format was smart. And that smart format really comes in handy when you want to make sure that you are not overusing, not overwasting, and not overspending. And there are lots of different things like this, different ingredients, different things at the grocery store that if you just have a look, you will find that there is a smarter format or a different way. Anytime that you are finding yourself throwing something out regularly and not using it all, go and have a look at the grocery store and see if there's a different way you can buy it. or you can join me at cookfor2.us and you will get a big list of these smart formats and lots of other grocery budgeting tricks that might make you turn your head around a little bit, think about things a little bit differently, but save you money, which we love. Okay, so that was the orange juice math part of the show. Now I'm going to turn to a recipe that uses orange juice right after the break. Continuing on the theme of orange juice and on smart formats, I am telling you how to make a delicious recipe for orange chicken for 2 people. Now, I am going to say, because this recipe is for 2 people, it doesn't call for very much orange juice at all. Only 3 tablespoons. You definitely don't want to buy the jug of 52 ounces of orange juice if you only need 3 tablespoons. Absolutely not. Not unless you know you're going to drink it. Now, instead of that jug, you can of course get those juice boxes, the 48 ounces, 6 juice boxes, 8 ounces each, but you're only going to be using 1.5 ounces of one of them, which is not very much at all. It is still more cost effective, absolutely. And you just have that little bit of orange juice left in the fridge. Maybe you will drink that small amount. I'm sure my kids would if they were home. I would. Marty might have it. That small amount, it's not as daunting as a whole big jug, But there are other options. Probably the most obvious is to get an orange, because the average orange is going to yield 4 to 5 tablespoons. So more than enough. You can juice half of it and then eat the other half of wedges. That makes a really nice snack. And so that's one way you can do it for sure. The other thing that you can do is you can buy a container of the frozen orange juice concentrate. The concentrate of the 100% juice is $4.65, and that comes in at about 9 cents per ounce when you're mixing it to make 48 ounces of liquid. You wouldn't mix that up though. What you'll do is to open that concentrate container, that can package that's cardboard. I don't know what to call that thing. And dump it into a zip top bag or any kind of airtight container. And then when you need some, you'll just go and kind of bang it on the table and scoop some out, or you can thaw it first. And then you're mixing. It's about 1 part of the concentrate to 3 to 4 parts of water. In this case, the recipe is calling for 3 tablespoons of orange juice. So you would get 1 tablespoon of the concentrate, mix it with 2 tablespoons of water, and you have a nice orange juice to use. And you did not buy a big jug just for this. Okay, so how do you make this orange chicken? This one you can do in the air fryer or on the stove, and it makes just enough for 2 people. It's delicious on rice with some stir-fried broccoli. You are going to start by getting out a ½ pound of boneless, skinless chicken breast or thighs cut into 1-inch pieces. Then sprinkle them all over with ½ teaspoon of salt and put them in a single layer on a plate and just let them sit for 10 minutes. That just starts to tenderize the chicken, especially since it's in such small pieces. It really does actually work, but you can skip the resting if you don't have time, no problem. After that, you're going to get a teaspoon of cornstarch and sprinkle it all over the chicken, give it a stir, and then sprinkle another teaspoon over the chicken and give it another stir. Doing it in 2 steps like that just lets it sort of distribute more evenly. And then we're ready to cook it. So if you're putting it in the air fryer, you're just putting it into the air fryer basket in a single layer and cook until the chicken pieces are no longer pink in the middle. When you cut into them, it's going to take 7 to 9 minutes. On the stove, you heat a skillet over medium heat, add a couple teaspoons of cooking oil, and then once that's warmed up, add the chicken and cook, stirring every now and then until it's cooked through 5 to 7 minutes. It is nicely seasoned with salt, and that cornstarch layer gives it that ever so slight crispness. It browns in the stove top, like in the pan. It won't brown so much in the air fryer, but it does have this crispness, and it helps the sauce stick to it. Now, this is how you make the sauce. While the chicken is cooking, you're going to measure another teaspoon of cornstarch into a microwave-safe bowl and add 1 tablespoon of your orange juice, whichever format you got it from, and whisk that up until it's smooth, and then stir in the remaining 2 tablespoons of orange juice along with a ½ 1/2 teaspoon of low sodium soy sauce, 1/8 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground ginger. Give that a stir and then microwave it on high for 30 seconds. Stir it again, microwave it for another 15 seconds, and then stir in a tablespoon of honey, and then it's going back into the microwave for 15 seconds at a time, stirring between each interval until the sauce is really frothy. You don't want it to boil over. When it's thick and shiny, it is done. Don't go any further or you will have a mess in your microwave. You can make that sauce on the stove in a small saucepan. You just mix all the ingredients together, whisk it well, heat it till it's simmering and thick, and it's done. So you don't have to use the microwave if you don't want to. Once your chicken is cooked, you take it off the heat or out of the air fryer, and then once your sauce is done, that's coming out of the microwave or off the stove, and you mix them together. The chicken's going to be coated in this glossy, delicious orange sauce. You're going to pile that onto some rice. Maybe you have some stir-fried broccoli on the side. If you used the whole orange to get the orange juice, you can slice that for a garnish or serve the wedges on the side. That works too. And dinner is served just enough for 2 people, and no orange juice was wasted in the making of this recipe. I will be back in just a moment to tell you about some other things going on in my kitchen this week. Okay, the orange juice portion of this show is done. I don't think I have anything else orange juice related to talk about. Instead, I am moving on to what's going on in my kitchen this week, and I'm going to be honest with you and say that I'm not entirely sure. I'm actually recording this a week in advance because I am at the Food Blogger Conference in Austin, Texas that I told you about. I think I told you about it last week. Anyhow, I am in Texas, or just getting back from Texas when you are listening to this. I know that I will be cooking in that week after I'm back, and I have a plan, but I'm not positive. Things change, really is going to depend on how exhausted I am when I get back here. But I can tell you that I am hoping to work on a taco soup recipe. This is one of those ones that I've been making for a long time, but never really write down. So I'm going to write this one down this time. And I'm also working on, my son Jeremy and I have been working on a buffalo chicken mac and cheese recipe. I think we're doing one more test of that. We do have pictures of it already. We have some video. Some of the video went a little bit wonky at some point. He was doing it. This is part of the big project that he was working on in the summer that has sort of continued on slowly through the school year. But yeah, he did the videos. Some of them are a little wonky. We may have to shoot a little bit more. I'm not positive yet. So I'm maybe working on that with him this week. And then also, a homemade hamburger helper recipe. No box required. Quick and easy dinner that is so satisfying. So basically, this is like what I thought Hamburger Helper tasted like, even though I'd never had it before. And I made it for, years and years. And then eventually did actually have Hamburger Helper. And I was like, oh, it is sort of what I thought it would taste like, but not quite. And so then I've adjusted it to be more like what the box stuff tastes like, just so it's like more comparable if you're hoping to really have that same kind of flavor texture, but from a homemade version. So those are the recipes that I'm hoping to work on this week. As to what is new on the site, just one recipe is it's going live while I'm in Austin. So it will be live for you when you hear this. And that is a classic Italian bolognese sauce going on the Cookful. And, this is where if you make this, you figure out really quickly that the real bolognese is not the same as American spaghetti sauce. They are quite different. I mean, a lot of people call them, use that name interchangeably. They'll say bolognese when they are making, spaghetti sauce. But if you've ever had it before, or if you just go and make this recipe, you'll see it's very different. It's not like a super thick, hearty sauce that you scoop onto the pasta. Instead, it's stirred with the pasta and kind of coats the strands. You add your pasta water and your cheese. It's meaty flavored, and it is meaty, but not in the same way as the American sauce. Yeah, it's delicious, and I'm excited for you to try it. That's up on the Cookful now. And yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you learned a little bit of something new about budgeting, or a way to save money on groceries, and are starting to think of different ways that you could apply that. And the orange chicken recipe is so good. good, and more coming in the week ahead. I will be here sharing more recipes as always. Oh, and if you liked that orange juice tip, the smart formats, definitely check out cookfor2.us. It is a whole community for people who are cooking for small households, and there are tons of recipes. There's a recipe vault full of recipes for two. There are meal plans for two people with grocery lists, and there are all kinds of budget-friendly tips. You're going to love it there. Cookfor2.us. I'm Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookbowl.com, cookfor2.us, and this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great weekend. Let's get cooking.